fresh, fringes on. I feel blessed, I feel strong, like I can make a mountain move. Keep the faith and do commandments, we gon' rule, yeah. Wait, let me fix my ground, boy, I'm royalty. Respect my brothers and my sisters, bitch, we royalty.
Right, what did Moses do? He delivered the children of Israel out of Egypt, right? Under Pharaoh, right? So he destroyed the Egyptians. He the Most High God. The children of Israel. So he got them into the wilderness. What did he do? He made a covenant with these people. He gave them laws, statutes, and commandments. Right? Give me Deuteronomy 28:15.
Book of Deuteronomy, chapter 28, verse 15.
So this is the Most High God that's going to tell the children of Israel. He's making this covenant with them. If we keep the laws, statutes, commandments, we're going to rule on high, etc., etc. But if we break these commandments, the Most High God said he's going to put 40 generational curses on these people. So you can identify who these people are today. Read.
But it shall come to pass,
Meaning it will happen.
if thou wilt not hearken unto
Don't listen to the Most High God.
hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God, to observe to do all his commandments.
Not just the 10 they teach you in church, because there's 613 laws in this book. They're never going to teach you in church. Read.
To do all his commandments and his statutes, which I command thee this day, that all these curses,
Now we know a curse is not a good thing, it's a bad thing. Read.
all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
First curse.
Cursed shall thy be in the city, and cursed shall thy be in the field.
I don't care what city, state, country you go into, who at the bottom of the society. Who in the project, who in the hood, who on Section 8, who on 50, who in and out of the brick house. What nation of people? The so-called black man, so-called Hispanic man, right? Verse 32.
32.
So like a ant in the field. Who was cursing the cotton field? Sugarcane field, tobacco field. Cursing the work field today. Who's raised high first farm? Our people. Right? Verse 32.
32. Thy sons and thy daughters shall be given unto another people.
So we got all those slave ships, what our children given to other people. So-called white man. Master Jackson came over to Master Johnson's plantation, wanted to take your children away. He ain't had no might down here, right? Your children were literally stripped from you, and your children were given to the so-called white man for them to be raised up to see their children again. It happened to all people. It happened to the black man, it happened to the Israelites.
Shall be given unto another people, and thy eyes shall look and bear with longing for them all the day long, and there shall be no might in thy hand.
Verse 37.
37. And thou shalt become an astonishment.
Meaning, it's shocking, it's amazing to see a people that once ruled on high, now they're at the bottom of society, calling themselves real niggas, stop city girls, whatever you name.
Right.
We went from being one of the most elite nations on this earth to now we ain't shit. Right? Read.
A proverb.
A proverb is a smart saying, the elevator can raise a family, but a black man can't. Right. If you want to have something to make put in the book, all niggas like water. Those are proverbs that the other nations put on us, right? Read.
And a byword.
And a byword. A byword is what we call ourselves today. Just like when I asked you, who are you, brother? You said black. We call ourselves African American, Jamaican, Haitian. All of these are bywords that the so-called white man put on us when we came over here. Right. This is actually what your nationality is according to the Bible.
Right.
You would be an Israelite from the tribe of Judah, not a so-called black man. Right? This is the best kept secret in the book. Give me Isaiah 65 and verse 15.
Book of Isaiah, chapter 65 and verse 15.
Just to show you that we was going to leave our name for a curse, brother, which is why today we got the last names of our oppressors. All of us, our last names go back to a plantation.
Right.
Read. Book of Isaiah, chapter 65 and verse 15.
No.
And ye shall leave your name for a curse unto my chosen. For the Lord God shall slay thee and call his servants by another name.
Williams.
By another name.
Jackson.
By another name.
Johnson.
By another name.
So where we going with this, brother? Give me verse 46.
Verse 46. And they shall be upon thee for a sign and for a wonder, and upon thy seed forever.
So if we ever forgot who we were, we can always go back to Deuteronomy chapter 28 and its curses and identify who God's chosen people are today. Because these curses are still on us to this day. This was prophesied to happen to the Israelites 3,000 years ago, 3,000 years later. These curses are still on us. We ain't breaking. That's why people naturally be like, man, we're a cursed people. You understand why we go through the things we go through? Well, I know other nations go through the things we go through. because we broke the covenant with the Most High God. That's why. And again, they never going to teach you this in church. They're just going to teach you God loves everybody. All you got to do is believe, and we ain't there like fun with. No, that's not in the Bible. Give me 48.
48. Therefore shall thou serve thine enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee.
So because we broke God's laws, the Most High God sent the so-called white man against us. We decided to go over in America in captivity for over 500 years. We've been prisoners of war. Now we don't even realize we're still in slavery right now. They take keep reading.
Therefore shall thou serve thine enemies in hunger and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
So anytime you want food, you want something to drink, who we go to? Who own everything? Damn sure ain't know. The so-called white man owns everything. All these restaurants, everything that we see, the so-called white man owns all. Anything we want, we desire, we got to get to the white man. We don't own a guy. Right. All these clothes that we wear, that we make fashion, but we make money. Everything we wear is owned by the so-called white man. Nike, Adidas, Prada, Gucci, you name it. Everything is owned by the so-called white man. That's a curse on our people that we got to go to another nation for one of all things. Read.
And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck.
Who put these chains on our neck, brother, when we got off those slave ships?
Right?
We reading this out of the Bible. This is the history. They never gonna teach you in school. Now, they gonna teach you when you in school that you was a slave. But our people don't never stop to think, what the hell were we doing prior to slavery? We reading it. Read.
Until he hath destroyed thee.
Now we mentally destroyed. Now we call ourselves everything but an Israelite. From the tribe of Judah, etc., etc. Now you can take the chains off. You can let the dog roam all over the plantation because you ain't gonna touch master, but we'll fuck each other up every day. Right? We'll have an evil eye towards our brothers and our sisters all day, every day. Number 54.
54, so that the man that is tender among you and very delicate.
We used to be nice and sweet and cordial towards one another. We'll stop and talk to one another. We'll look out for one another. But now,
his eye shall be evil towards his brother.
That's right. On black crime in the Bible. Keep reading.
And toward the wife of his bosom.
That's why we lead the nation in domestic violence, baby mama, baby daddy drama. Read.
And toward the remnant of his children, which he shall leave.
No, daddy gonna stay home and raise his child.
Which he shall leave.
That's why we known for having single mothers in the household.
Right.
They out doing God knows what. We reading this out of the Bible and we trying to figure out why in the hell are we constantly in the same rotation in this vicious cycle? Because we broke the covenant with the Most High God. Last curse, 68.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Now remember, the children of Israel were in slavery under the Egyptian Pharaoh, right? So let's see, Egypt is synonymous with something. Give me Exodus 22.
Exodus, chapter 20 and verse 2.
Bring it out.
I am the Lord thy God, which have brought thee out of the land of Egypt, out of the house of bondage.
So when you read Egypt in the Bible, it's not talking about the literal landmass Egypt. It's talking about a position that we were in. Slavery. So the Most High God is telling the children of Israel via Moses, I'm going to send y'all ass into a future, meaning a future slavery.
Right.
Read.
And the Lord shall bring thee into Egypt again.
Slavery again.
With ships.
With what?
With ships.
What's the only nation of people that went into slavery and called them slave ships? We the only people that went in there. That's history that they teach us in school. But they're not teaching it no more because they know we waking up to who we are. Transatlantic slave trade in the Bible. You can't make this up. This was prophesied to happen 3,000 years before it happened. This is biblical prophecy aligning with history. Right. Keep reading on that.
By the way whereof I spake unto thee, thou shalt see it no more
We
again.
want to go see our homeland again. That's why we in America for 500 years. We ain't been nowhere.
Right. Read. And there ye shall be sold
Once we got off those slave ships, no matter where we were at,
unto your enemies.
no, the so-called white man is our friend.
Unto your enemies.
No, the so-called Arab and Chinese man is our friend.
Unto your enemies.
If you go throughout history, the so-called white man wasn't the only ones that had us in slavery. All these other nations had a chance to have us in slavery. When you backdate and look at the history prior to American history, again, they're not going to teach us that. The only place we're going to find that history is in this book. Right? So, after going across some of these curses, I can see by your body language, brother, we identify with these curses. What would you say your nationality is now? Salat, read.
Unto your enemies, for bondmen and bondwomen,
Slave man and slave woman.
and no man shall buy you.
Meaning nobody will be able to redeem you out of this captivity, which is why we have Malcolm X, Martin Luther King, Marcus Garvey, Black Panther. We've always had men throughout history try to raise us out of this captivity. What happens? Every time a so-called black man tries to raise us up, they knock his ass off because they know who we are. So, my brother, if these curses identify with the so-called black man and black woman, Hispanic man and Hispanic woman today, what would that call us? What would the Most High God, what would that consider us? Do we match these curses? Yes or no?
Yeah, the way that you put it out there, yeah.
Hey, we're just reading the Bible, my brother. Best kept secret. Again, they're not going to teach you this in church. They're only going to teach you in the New Testament. The New Testament is 322 pages long. The Old Testament is 1,199 pages long. When you go to church, they'll tell you don't worry about this part. They'll tell you just focus on 322 pages. Make that make sense. You go to school, any book you open, how you going to go to the third of the book and understand the entire book? When you don't realize that this New Testament that everybody thinks is a difference between the New Testament and the Old Testament, it's not. The New Testament is basically recalling the Old Testament. Right. It's just a consolidated version of the Old Testament. So there's no such thing as, oh, that's the Old Testament. You ain't got to worry about that. But you ain't going to never understand who you are in your history unless you go to the Old Testament. Right. Because that's what you're reading in the New Testament. You're literally reading the Old Testament. Right. But that's another secret that Pastor will keep away from you. You're going to go to church on Sunday, he's going to read 3 or 4 scriptures to you. He's going to talk to you for an hour and 30 minutes, walk your ass to sleep, and he's going to run that collection plate around. Right. So he ain't taught you a goddamn thing out of his Bible. Right. But since we don't been standing up here, brother, everything I don't say, we don't went to a scripture to prove it, right? Pastor ain't going to never do that. So if we broke the law, statutes, and commandments, and these curses were poured upon us, what must we do to reconcile it back to our God? If we broke the commandments and we cursed them, what must we do to reconcile it? We gotta keep the commandments. Give me Deuteronomy 10 and 12.
Book of Deuteronomy chapter 10 and verse 12.
Bring it on!
And now Israel, what doeth the Lord thy God require of thee, but to fear the Lord thy God, to walk in all his ways, and to love him, and to serve the Lord thy God with all thine heart and with all thy soul, to keep the commandments.
To do what?
To keep the commandments.
So we gotta start keeping these commandments, my brother. Again, not just the 10 they teach you in church, but we 613 laws. No, keep the commandments. Can I give you a couple, brother? You eat in the board. Shrimp, crab, lobster. Sausage, pepperoni, shrimp, crab, lobster, oysters, any of that? You eat any of that? Not at all? What about you, sister? Hey, all praise to the Most High. Give me Leviticus 19:17.
Book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and verse 17.
Bring it on! If we just kept this one commandment in our community, if we gonna read it, we see it, we'll be so much better as a nation, even by just keeping this commandment. Read.
Book of Leviticus, chapter 19, and verse 17.
Bring it on!
Thou shalt not hate thy brother in thine heart.
Read.
Thou shalt in any wise rebuke thy neighbor.
Rebuke means to correct. If I see my brother going off, if I see my brother doing something wrong, I'm supposed to correct him. That's what love is. Love is not a hug and a kiss, according to the Bible. Love is me simply seeing my brother break the commandments and me coming over to correct my brother. Fear the law, statutes, and commandments. That's what true love is. Read.
And not suffer sin upon him.
Because if I see my brother going off and I'm like, you know what, that's his business. That ain't got shit to do with me. At the end of the day, I'm suffering sin upon you and myself by knowing better and not teaching you to do better. Right. Read.
Thou shalt not avenge, nor bear any grudge against the children of thy people.
And that's a tough one for our community because we already know when if you were to wrong me, brother, just thinking worldly sense, I'll hold a grudge because I'll be like, man, fuck that nigga, man. But we ain't supposed to be like that with our people. We supposed to love our people.
like that, bro.
We
raised like that.
Because of the curse. Go back to 54, but read it again.
Like
Listen to this curse. I'm going to read this again. This is why we are the way we are. It's a curse. Read it.
It's the book of Deuteronomy. I'll start at 15 time.
No, 54.
54. So that the man that is tender among you and very delicate, his eye shall be evil towards his brother.
That's why we are the way we are towards each other, because the Most High God cursed us. That's why they can naturally love each other. Like, for example.
I gotta read 16.
Come on. Go ahead.
It's the Book of Deuteronomy chapter 28:15.
Bring it up.
But it shall come to pass, if thou wilt not hearken unto the voice of the Lord thy God,
Because we didn't listen to the Most High God and we broke these commandments,
to observe to do all his commandments,
which we didn't do.
and his statutes, which I command thee this day,
Right.
that all these curses shall come upon thee and overtake thee.
So the reason why we are
Real quick, we broke the covenant. The Lord made a covenant with a nation of people. And that covenant was to keep his laws and commandments. That was our wisdom inside of the nation. You look at all these nations today, they all picked up parts of this to establish their nation. That's why they got Congress, government, their military, the way they set their structure, they got that from us. You see what I'm saying? So when we go against the laws and commandments, we fell under these curses, and these curses are reoccurring even unto this day. It's like you got
Come. Okay, so you can see that's why we naturally hate one another. I ain't gotta know you from Adam, but instead of me saying, hey, what's good, brother? Or a little head nod or something like, because that's an evil eye, that's a curse on us. That's a curse on us. So in order for the only way I'm gonna know how to break this curse is to keep Leviticus 19 and 17. That's why we must learn these laws. That's our history, that's our heritage. And ultimately, this is the cheat code. Because when Christ returned, these same laws are just going to govern the world. These are the nations who we're serving out. They're going to have to serve us in that way. And they're going to have to keep our laws, statutes, and commandments. So it's best that we come back to our heritage now. Because when Christ comes back, there's going to be a whole lot of destruction. They're going to be you go in this Bible ain't all love. There's a whole lot of gang shit going on in this Bible. Put it in layman terms, right? So go ahead on that. I'm gonna give you numbers 15 to 38.
Book of Numbers.
You got a dress code too.
Book of Numbers, chapter 15 and verse 38.
Bring it out.
Speak unto the children of Israel,
Not to so-called black African Americans, but to the children of Israel.
and bid them that they make them fringes in the borders of their garments throughout their generations.
So look around at each brother. What do we all have in common on our shirts? If you look at every brother's shirt, and look at the top of the shirt, look at the bottom of the shirt. These are fringes. And this is a commandment. This is a part of our culture, our heritage. So you can identify who the Israelites are. Because we have a dress code that's part of our heritage. Read.
And that they put upon the fringe of the borders a ribbon of blue.
So we might all have gold, red, different colored fringes, but the Most High God commanded that we have a ribbon of blue. Read.
And it shall be unto you for a fringe, that ye may look upon it, and remember all the commandments of the Lord,
And
do them.
that's the most important part, because some people may be like, oh, I know the laws, I know a few laws, but they're not keeping it. And at the end of the day, we got to understand, do you know what sin is? What sin, sister? Oh, that's why we out here, 1 John 3 and 4.
Look at 1 John chapter 3 and verse 4.
Let's see, because again, what they teach us in church, that's not sin according to the Bible. So we're going to read exactly what sin is according to the Bible. Read.
Whosoever committed sin transgresseth also the law. For sin is the transgression of the law.
So that's all sin is breaking God's law. Only way you know you're sin is by studying and keeping the law. That's all it is. It ain't when you do something bad, it's when you transgress God's laws. Well, how you gonna know you within sin if you don't study and keep the laws? You see what I'm saying? And again, they're not gonna teach you the laws of church. This is gonna tell you to believe and run me my money. Believe, make you feel good. Boy, Pastor showed this, speak a good word today. But he ain't teach you a goddamn thing in this book.
Right.
So that's what's important, brother. We gotta come back to these laws, statutes, and commandments. Let me get what you have on?
I had read this first. This is St. John 14 and 15.
God, this is how you show that you love the Lord, because everybody gonna confess out of their mouth that they love the Most High God, but they're not gonna have nothing to show for. Read.
If ye love me, keep my commandments.
Read that again.
If ye love me, keep my commandments.
That's how we show that we love the Most High God, by keeping His commandments. That's just like if you got children. You know what I'm saying? Your children are going to show you that they love you by the rules and regulations. They don't keep the rules and regulations that you give. You're going to be like, man, you don't love me, you don't respect me. You see what I'm saying? Don't get distracted, bro. You see what I'm saying? So the Most High God looks at us as His children. We are the children of Israel. The Most High God's chosen people. So He is our heavenly Father. We have to keep His commandments. It ain't no getting around. Keep faithing on the side, keep another commandment.
This book is Zephaniah chapter 2 from the top.
Bring it out.
Gather yourselves together.
Read that again.
Gather yourselves together.
These last days, the Most High God is gathering His children together. It's a commandment for us on the Shabbat to come together as a people. That's right. One another, laws, statutes, and commandments. Give me Exodus chapter 20 and verse 8.
Book of Exodus chapter 20 verse 8.
Bring it out.
Remember the Sabbath day.
Read that again.
Remember the Sabbath day.
Because we know in this society they teach us that the Sabbath day is on Sunday. That's not according to the Bible. Right. Actually, it's a Sabbath day right now. When the sun came down on Friday night until Saturday sundown, that's actually the Lord's Sabbath. Which is why we out here on the Sabbath day trying to bring our people back to the marriage. Read.
Remember the Sabbath day to keep it holy.
Holy means to keep it separate. We're supposed to separate this day from any other day during the week. Read.
6 days shall thou labor and do all thy work, but the 7th day is the Sabbath of the Lord thy God. In it thou shalt not do any work, thou, nor thy son, nor thy daughter, thy manservant, nor thy maidservant, nor thy cattle, nor thy stranger that was in thy gates.
So we're not supposed to be out here hanging out, spending money, living it up. We're supposed to actually be studying, resting with your family. You as the head of your household, you're supposed to be teaching your wife. The law says you're supposed to be supping with the Lord on the Sabbath day. You're not supposed to be out here hanging out doing our own thing. The only thing you're going to see the men of the Lord out here doing is the Lord's work. Right. Give me Luke 14:23. Because you're never going to hear the truth in the church.
Book of Luke, chapter 14, verse 22. Bring it out. 23. And the Lord said unto the servant, go out into the highways and hedges.
That's why you see us out here yelling this Bible, because the Lord said what?
Go out into the highways and hedges.
Read.
And compel them to come in, that my house may be filled.
So the reason why we out here is because we are we did not do this. We don't bought out a million scriptures tonight that you've never heard in your life that you're not going to learn Sunday. Okay? That's our job, my brother. You got any questions on anything?
Nah, but let me get you got a car or something?
Come on, yeah, we got a flyer. What's your nationality?
I don't know, bro.
What? Are we gonna have to go through these curses again? Sister, who are we according to the Most High God? That's right. That's right. We the Israelites, brother. We gonna fly. We got a YouTube channel on there, brothers. We got a plus up video.